I grew up with two childhood sweethearts. One joined the army and became a cold female soldier. She doesn't even come home once a year. The other became a soft and cute campus belle. Since I was a child, I knew these two were my future wives. But while I was struggling to choose between them, they both blamed me when their idealized love got hit by a car. Together, they insisted I was the culprit. They cornered me, each gave me a slap. That furious gaze was as if they were looking at a heinous criminal. At that moment, my heart finally died. I understood that no matter what I did, it wouldn't compare to a single word from the idealized love in their eyes. But what they don't know is that I once promised to take care of them for 5 years, to repay a debt of gratitude. Now, with only 5 days left until the term ends, it's time for me to disappear. I went to the hospital. As soon as I pushed open the door to the hospital room, Su Yuanru slapped me against the wall. "Jiang Shen, you despicable villain, how dare you take advantage of my sister and I not being home to kick Jing Nian out and get him hit by a car." I swallowed the metallic taste in my throat, looking at Su Xidao sitting by the bed. I said, "I didn't kick him out. He left on his own." Song Jing Nian, in the hospital bed, gently intervened. "Yuanru, why are you being so harsh to your brother-in-law? Be careful, or your sister will scold you." Su Yuanru quickly returned to the bedside to show her loyalty. "Jing Nian, don't misunderstand. The only man my sister loves is you. As for Jiang Shen, he's just a servant left behind by our mother for my sister and me. Isn't that right, sister?" After saying that, she shot me a disdainful look. An insect is just an insect. How can he compare to a true dragon? I looked at the back of Su Xidao in her military uniform. She didn't say a word, but her cold, beautiful profile still revealed her anger. I mocked myself for the little hope I held in my heart. It was clear from the first day I came to the Su family's house that the person Su Xidao loved was Song Jingnian. It's just that Song Jingnian was later sent to study abroad and disappeared without a trace, leaving Su Xidao heartbroken and miserable, waiting for him for 3 years. Then, Mother Su brought me home. For the past 5 years, I diligently took care of the Su sisters' daily life. Not only did I raise Su Yuanru until she was 18, but I also helped Su Xidao gradually step out of the darkness after Song Jingnian left. She was steadily promoted to her current rank of lieutenant. In my 4th year at the Su family's home, Su Xidao confessed her feelings for me. We had a simple wedding ceremony. It's just that we still haven't registered our marriage. Every time I mentioned it, Su Xidao would impatiently say the application had been approved. But I know she never submitted the marriage application at all. The day my proposal was accepted, Su Xidao got completely drunk. She hugged me, calling me Jing Nian. "I'm sorry," she said. Even Su Yuanru cried her heart out all night in the next room. "I've told you before, as long as you behave, you will always be the lieutenant's family." Su Xidao's voice suddenly interrupted my memories. Her eyes were dark, as if brewing a storm. "But why must you go against Jing Nian? If anything really happens to Jing Nian, is your life enough to compensate?" Su Yuanru chimed in. "That's right. What's your life worth? Who would want it?" I looked at the two sisters, deep as the sea feelings for the same man. I felt nothing at all. Years ago, to repay Suai for burying my mother, I signed a 5-year contract. No matter what they needed, I did my best to satisfy them. Now the contract only has 5 days left. Song Jingnian is also back. I should be sensible and fulfill their last request, to leave on my own accord. Seeing my silent lack of reaction, Su Xidao felt an inexplicable restlessness. "Go home and clear out the master bedroom. Jingnian will stay at our house when his discharge, until he fully recovers." Su Yuanru tone became even more bossy. "You wouldn't dare object, would you? Don't think that just because you had a wedding ceremony, you've become the master of the Su household. Don't you forget, that's my sister's house." Su Xidao has assigned dorms in the military barracks. As for the old Su family house, it only has 2 bedrooms and a woodshed. If they let Song Jingnian stay in the master bedroom, I can only move into the woodshed. I lowered my eyes. My heart was completely calm. It seemed that where I stayed didn't matter to me. I have no opinion. After all, it's only for 5 days. "What 5 days? Su Xidao looked at my back. For some reason, her heart felt empty. She warned loudly, "Don't you dare try any tricks to bully Jingnian. Otherwise, I will withdraw the marriage application." Seeing my back pause for a moment, she sneered contemptuously. "I am madly in love with her. Now that I am about to get my wish to register our marriage, how could I possibly let go and leave?" The second day, before dawn, Su Yuanru was already pounding on the master bedroom door. "Jiang Then, hurry up and cook. Jingnian is weak. Hurry up and stew a pot of chicken." Just as she was growing more and more impatient, I emerged from the woodshed. Su Yuanru was stunned for a moment. Seeing the dark woodshed with only a blanket, she couldn't help but purse her lips. "Why didn't you move the bed in? Are you trying to act pitiful so my sister will feel sorry for you? I'm warning you, don't play any tricks. No matter how you act, you can't compare to a single finger of Jingnian." I gave her a flat look. "You're right. Let Song Jingnian be your brother-in-law then." Su Yuanru was speechless. Her eyes widened. "Are you showing off that my sister married you? He'll go back and tell my sister about your boastful, villainous fate. So she'll divorce you. It loved nothing more." I threw out that sentence and walked into the kitchen without looking back. 4 days left on the contract. No matter how angry I was, I still had to endure it. Around noon, Su Dao drove Song Jingnian home. Song Jingnian had trouble moving. One sister carefully helped him out of the car, while the other bustled about, carrying his luggage. Passing by me, Su Dao asked, "Is lunch ready?" Before I could open my mouth, Su Yuanru quickly said, "It's ready. They're all of Jingnian favorite dishes. There's also a nutritious chicken soup." Su Dao showed a satisfied expression. On her face, Song Jingnian, also full of happiness, held her hand. They looked like a sweet couple. At the dinner table, the two sisters diligently served food to Song Jingnian. "Jingnian, this shrimp is very fresh. I'll peel it for you. Jingnian isn't well. Eat some more meat." I quietly ate my own food. Suddenly, a piece of carrot was placed in my bowl. Song Jingnian looked at me gratefully. "Comrade Jiang Shen, thank you for cooking for me. It'll have to trouble you to take care of me for a while." I frowned. "What do you mean?" Su Dao cleared her throat lightly. "Jingnian has trouble moving. You'll have to take care of him during this time. Just help cook and change his bandages and medicine. It's not a big deal." I looked at Su Dao. "Am I a servant?" Su Yuanru slammed the table. "What do you mean by that? You don't want to take care of a patient for a bit. If my mother hadn't brought you home back then, you wouldn't even know where you'd have been sold off to by now." "Yuanru," Su Dao called out coldly. Su Yuanru reluctantly shut up. Then Su Dao turned to look at me. "I'm not discussing this with you. I'm informing you." Understood. She was used to giving orders in the military. Faced with my questioning, Su Dao initially just felt annoyed. Seeing that both Su sisters were on his side, Song Jingnian couldn't help but rejoice inwardly. All right. Don't make things difficult for Comrade Jiang Shen. I can take care of myself." Su Dao quickly reassured him. "It's fine. As experienced in taking care of people, you don't need to be shy. Jiang Shen, go get Jingnian a bowl of soup." I smirked. I turned and walked into the kitchen. I ladled out a bowl of soup. The chicken soup was still boiling on the stove. It was still steaming when I brought it to Song Jingnian. Song Jingnian reached out to take it. In the next instant, after a gasp, came the sound of shattering porcelain. The golden soup splashed onto Song Jingnian's hand. The pain was so intense that the corners of his eyes immediately reddened. "Comrade Jiang Shen, what did I do wrong for you to splash soup on me?" Su Dao and Su Yuanru immediately surrounded Song Jingnian, pityingly looking at the red mark on his hand. "Xi Dao, I'm not staying at your house anymore. This time it's hot soup. Next time will I be forced to drink pesticide? I'm scared." Song Jingnian frowned sadly. A complete reversal of black and white ignited a surging rage in the two sisters. I watched this terrible play. I only found it laughable. I didn't intend to explain. After all, no matter what I said, the Su sisters wouldn't believe it. The person they cherished and respected in their hearts was, from beginning to end, only Song Jingnian. Su Yuanru grabbed my arm tightly. Her 5 fingers felt like they were digging into my bones. "Jiang Shen, you've always disliked Jingnian. You use all sorts of tricks to harm him. He'll take you to the police station. You black-hearted person." Su Dao looked at me coldly. "I didn't think that out of jealousy. You would do such dirty things. I really misjudged you. Now, get on your knees and apologize to Jingnian immediately. Otherwise, not even I can protect you." After saying that, Su Dao pulled me to the ground, something I didn't do. Why should I apologize? I endured the pain in my legs and stubbornly raised my head to look her in the eye. Su Yuanru simply went crazy. She directly kicked my knee. "Go on. Be stubborn. If anything happens to Jingnian, I will definitely not let you off." My knees slammed directly onto the broken porcelain. The sharp shards instantly pierced through the fabric into my kneecaps. The pain was so intense that my face instantly paled. Su Dao looked at my trembling body. Without a hint of compassion, still not willing to apologize. "Or do you want to kneel outside the gate so the whole neighborhood can see the wicked heart of yours?" The pain in my body had exceeded its limit. My vision kept blacking out. I knew that if I didn't bow my head today, they absolutely would not let me go. I've bowed and scraped for 5 years. Now, I no longer want to compromise against my will. My eyes turned red. "I will never apologize." Su Yuanru raised her hand to hit me, but was stopped by Su Dao. "If you don't want to apologize, then just kneel here. When you've realized your mistake, only then can you stand up." After saying that, she helped Song Jingnian and hurried to the hospital with Su Yuanru. The door slammed shut. My struggling body finally fell to the ground. A piece of porcelain cut my wrist. Amidst the crimson scene before my eyes, I gradually lost consciousness. The pungent smell of disinfectant filled my nose. I opened my eyes to a pristine white. "Am I dead?" The nurse bandaging my wounds said. "Comrade, are you alright? You lost too much blood. If you had arrived an hour later, you would have died." My mind was a blank slate. "May I ask who brought me here? Besides my sister, who else do you think it could be?" Su Yuanru's strange voice came from the doorway. I looked over and saw Su Dao standing at the door with a gloomy face. Her aura was so intense that even Su Yuanru didn't dare to come closer, making an excuse to report to the police before running off. As she approached step by step, my face was full of vigilance. "What more do you want to do?" Su Dao grabbed my chin. Her voice was cold as she questioned. "Jiang Shen, because you didn't want to admit your mistake, you even resorted to attempting suicide." I frowned, tilting my head away from her hand. "I don't know what you're talking about." Su Dao grabbed my bandaged hand. "The living room was practically flooded with your blood. Jingnian was so scared his legs went weak. Also, She swallowed her words. She didn't want to tell me that when she saw me lying there motionless, how panicked and desperate she had become. I only reacted then. I just quietly pulled my hand away. Tomorrow, after your discharge, you'll come live with me at the military district dorms, to prevent you from seeing Jingnian and getting more dirty thoughts. Coldly refused. No need. I won't go bother you. As for Song Jingnian, tell him to endure it for 3 more days and not to come provoke me. Suxidao was startled. How did you know that our marriage application will be approved in 3 days? But in the end, I still couldn't hold out. Suxidao took me back to the family quarters. This house was Suxidao private space. The bookcase was filled with medals and certificates of merit, as well as a brightly polished photograph. It was a photo of Song Jingnian and Suxidao before he went abroad. The two of them stood very close. In Suxidao always cold eyes, there's a smile as warm as a spring breeze. Anyone who saw it would praise them as a talented man and beautiful woman. If Song Jingnian hadn't gone abroad, they would probably have a child by now. Jiang Shen, what are you looking at? Suxidao walked closer. When she saw the photo, she frowned slightly. She took it out, put it in a drawer, and locked it. I knew better than to look anymore. You'll sleep in the living room. Suxidao frowned. Why sleep in the living room? My room is so big. Isn't one bed enough for you to sleep on? I smirked, saying sincerely, Song Jingnian is back. It's not appropriate. Suxidao looked impatient. Jiang Shen, can you use your brain a little? Can't you talk without mentioning Jingnian? Don't make me regret marrying you. I shut my mouth and sat down on the sofa. Since Song Jingnian returned, I had become increasingly haggard. My body was as thin as a sheet of paper. An unprovoked sense of unease welled up inside her. Suxidao recalled the day she took me to the hospital. My knees were full of porcelain shards. My thigh had a large burn blister, and the wound on my wrist was bleeding continuously. A needle-like pain pricked her heart. When I first came to the Su family's house, I was just a 16-year-old boy. For 5 years, I worked diligently without complaint. Had she been too negligent towards me, causing me to be so jealous of Song Jingnian? She sighed, sitting close to me. Jiang Shen, the reason Yuan Ru and I treat Jingnian so well is because a few months ago, he risked his life to save both of us from a fire. One must be grateful. As my family, you should treat Jingnian even better. My pupils contracted violently. The scene from that day's fire reappeared before my eyes. Suxidao was on leave and took Su Yuan Ru to a restaurant for Song Jingnian welcome party. As a result, the kitchen caught fire, trapping the 3 of them in a private room. When I arrived, the flames were already reaching the sky. The firefighters only managed to save Song Jingnian. Suxidao and Su Yuan Ru were still trapped in the fire. Their lives were in grave danger. I was indescribably worried. Gritting my teeth, I poured a whole bucket of cold water over my head on that freezing day and rushed into the fire. I forcefully dragged the 2 unconscious women out. As for me, due to severe burns on my back and inhaling too much smoke, I fell into a coma. I was in the hospital for 3 days and 3 nights before waking up. But when I hurried home, Suxidao and Su Yuan Ru had completely forgotten that I had saved them. They were only grateful to Song Jingnian for saving their lives. I tried to explain, but the 2 sisters thought I was trying to take credit and scolded me for being shameless. Later, I don't know what tricks Song Jingnian used, but he found some reporters to interview him about his experience saving them. From then on, Suxidao and Su Yuan Ru were even more certain that I was a scheming man who would stop at nothing. It was also from that moment that I completely understood that no matter how much I devoted to them, it would not be remembered in their hearts. They had no feelings for me whatsoever. Since that was the case, why should I get clothes just to be humiliated? After all, I only saved them because of the contract. I smirked, saying calmly, okay. My obedience surprised Suxidao a little. She softened, took my hand and said, Jiang Shen, in 2 days, when the marriage certificate arrives, let's go take some wedding photos. Didn't you like suits before? It'll take you to pick out some clothes then. I looked at her rare intimate gesture. I only felt uncomfortable. You can arrange it. Anyway, in 2 days, I absolutely will not appear at the photo studio. Neither of us noticed that outside the family quarters, the figure of Song Jingnian flashed by. Extreme malice was brewing in his rippling eyes. He went to the police station to register for the purchase of acid. When that small bottle of colorless liquid was in his hand, Song Jingnian revealed a sinister smile. Jiang Shen, just wait until your face is ruined. Let's see what you use to seduce Xidao then. Who is that person? The police officer handling the registration looked up. Seeing the woman behind him, he quickly stood up and greeted her. Director Gu, that's the family of Lieutenant Suxidao from our southwest military region. Comrade Song Jingnian, his colleague next to him, nudged him. What nonsense are you talking about? Lieutenant's family is Comrade Jiang Shen? Gu Qinghan was startled. Her eyes shot up. Who? The young police officer was frightened. He stammered. Jiang Shen. Director Gu, if you don't believe me, I can find the file for you to see. A moment later, a manila envelope was placed in Gu Qinghan's hand. She clutched the papers tightly. Her eyes searched my face over and over. Finally, unable to hide her emotion, she hurried back to her office to make a call. Hello? Please connect me to the office of Director Jiang of the Security Bureau. A moment later, a deep, authoritative voice sounded. Qinghan, have you found any news about the spy? Gu Qinghan held the receiver with a hand trembling with excitement. Uncle, after all these years, we've finally found Jiang Shen. The man on the other end was both surprised and delighted, but years of professional habit still made him suppress his emotions. He confirmed one more time. Xiaohan, are you sure that's my son? Jiang Shen, Gu Qinghan stared intently at the photo in the file. I'm sure. He'll never forget his face in this lifetime. Zhang Qingquok's voice became excited. Heaven does not disappoint a determined person. That year, Zhangjia village suffered a once-in-a-century flood. It swept away my wife and son. I searched painstakingly for 10 years. And finally, there's a result. Xiaohan, I'll come join you right away. We'll bring Jiangshen home together. The second day of Suxi Dao leave, she took me home. As soon as we walked in, the living room was messy and trash was everywhere. Su Yuanru slept until the sun was high in the sky before waking up. Seeing me, she ordered me around impolitely. You're finally back. Hurry up and clean. It's so filthy. I thought this would be the last time I had to fulfill the contract. I turned to get a broom, but Suxi Dao stopped me. You made this mess yourself. Clean it up yourself. Su Yuanru looked at her in disbelief. Seeing that she wasn't joking, she could only reluctantly pick up the broom. It's not like I'm the only one who made a mess. I heard that, but I didn't pay it any mind. I told Suxi Dao I wanted to go upstairs to get my things. That day when I cleaned the bedroom, I only moved out my everyday items, but my most important possession was still hidden in the safe under the bed. But when I unlocked it, I saw that the jade ring, which was supposed to be safely stored inside, had vanished without a trace. I was startled. I frantically searched the bedroom, afraid that I had left it somewhere else. Comrade Jiangshen, are you looking for this? A voice came from the doorway. I turned my head and saw Song Jingnian leaning against the door frame. He held up his right hand. On his slender finger was a vibrant green jade ring. My heart suddenly clenched tightly. That's mine. Song Jingnian stroked the ring. Really? This ring doesn't have your name on it. How can you prove it's yours? I found it, so it's mine. My voice trembled slightly with anxiety. Song Jingnian, you can have anything you want, but you have to give this back to me. A glint appeared in Song Jingnian's eyes. He slowly walked in. I want you to give Si Dao to me. Fine. I stared intently at the jade ring and agreed without hesitation. I want you to move out of the Su family's house and never appear in front of Xi Dao for the rest of your life. I agree to everything. Can you give me back the ring now? Song Jingnian took off the jade ring and held it out in front of me. All right. I was just kidding. Here you go. Just as I was about to reach out, a green shadow like a shooting star quickly flew past my fingertips and fell to the ground. In an instant, cracks spread all over the ring's surface. My expression went blank for a moment. A moment later, a furious rage consumed me. I raised my hand and slapped Song Jingnian hard. Song Jingnian fell to the ground. He stared at me, shocked and wide-eyed. You piece of trash. How dare you hit me? My face was expressionless. I bent down, grabbed his throat, and slapped him again. I used a lot of force. Song Jingnian immediately spat out a mouthful of blood and cried out in fear. Suxi Dao rushed, seeing that I was about to deliver a third slap. She kicked me hard in the stomach, sending me flying into the wall. Jingnian, are you okay? Song Jingnian's cheeks were swollen. He spoke while blood trickled from the corner of his mouth. Xi Dao! I was just joking with Comrade Jiang Shen. He couldn't catch the ring himself and got angry. He took it out on me. If my face gets ruined, how can I go on living? Su Yuanru chest heaved with anger. She first rushed over and kicked me hard twice. Then she picked up the cracked ring. Just because of this broken piece of junk, you hit brother Jingnian. You scum. I knew it. Some lover of yours must have given this to you. Right? Suxi Dao expression changed. She took the ring and strode over to me. Who gave this to you? Tell me now. Because of that kick, my heart was throbbing with sharp pain. Now, seeing her questioning me, only felt disgust and nausea. I swallowed the blood in my mouth and forced a nonchalant smile. You are not worthy of knowing her name. You scum. How dare you cheat on my sister? He'll kill you. Just as Su Yuanru was about to charge forward, she was pushed aside by Suxi Dao. My words were like a nuclear bomb exploding in her head. An uncontrollable anger rose on her face, and a barely perceptible hint of hurt. He'll ask again, who gave this to you? Closed my eyes, and remembered the warm touch of my mother's hand stroking me. Our Jiangshen must marry a good girl in the future, and live happily ever after. Only then can I rest in peace. A teardrop rolled down my cheek. Before I could even open my mouth, Suxi Dao said coldly, I don't care who it is. From now on, you can only be my man. Suxi Dao man. The next second, she raised her hand and threw the ring, the jade ring, out the window with a crack. I felt as if the ring had shattered into dust. I struggled to get up and rushed to the window, screaming mom until my voice was hoarse. Suxi Dao and Su Yuanru were stunned. Their faces instantly turned ugly. When I came to the Su family's house, I was alone. They never cared who my family was or where they were, as if they naturally assumed that in my world, there were only the two of them. Suxi Dao was filled with regret. She reached out to touch me in my state of mental collapse, but I pushed her away. Don't touch me. Jiang Shen. I'm sorry. I was too impulsive. It was the first time Suxi Dao had ever been resisted by me like that. Her heart ached with sadness. My eyes were vacant. I muttered as if in a trance. One more day? Suxi Dao's eyes lit up. She nodded quickly. Right. right? One more day, we're about to become a legally married couple. I came to my senses, clutching my chest. I said breathlessly, Sukes, I hate you. I will never marry you. Sukes Idao face changed abruptly. Jiang Shen, I've already submitted my application. No matter how angry you are, you can say that. I clutched my stomach and limped outside. My voice was as cold as ice. I'm going to the organization department right now to cancel the application. It was the first time Su Yuanru had seen me so devastated and sad. For a moment, she didn't dare to stop me. Stop. Sukes, with red-rimmed eyes, pulled me back. Jiang Shen, do you really want to cancel the wedding? I didn't even turn my head. Yes. Sukes Idao 5 fingers tightened more and more, as if trying to hold on to me, to stop the panic in her heart. Why? Even if I carelessly threw your mother's ring away just now. I already apologized. I laughed mockingly. Sukes, you once said that if sorry worked, what would be the need for police? Sukes Idao's mind went blank. She recalled the last time Song Jingnian said I stole his brooch. Su show her impartiality. She insisted on making me go out and do laundry for others. Su earned money to replace the brooch. In the freezing cold of December, my hands were soaked in icy water from morning till night. The frostbite on them was swollen bigger than carrots. I couldn't bear it. And begged, saying I was willing to admit my mistake and apologize, but she just glanced at me coldly. If sorry worked, what would be the need for police? Now this arrow had returned, unerringly, and struck her heart. Only then did Sukes Idao realize that words could also pierce the heart, making one bleed incessantly. I absolutely will not let you leave. The fear of losing me consumed Sukes Idao. She acted decisively and locked me in the bedroom. I tried to turn the doorknob hard a few times, and then pounded on the door with all my might. Sukes, open the door and let me out. Jiang Shen, get some rest. Wait until the marriage certificate arrives tomorrow, and you will be free. After she finished speaking, the sound of her footsteps at the door gradually faded away. I leaned against the door and slowly slumped down. The next day, at dawn, Sukes Idao went on duty. Su Yuanru went to school, leaving Song Jingnian at home to watch me. Song Jingnian saw the two sisters leave. He carefully took a bottle of acid from the cabinet. He smiled sinisterly. Jiang Shen, your good days are over. I was awakened by the sound of the lock turning. Yesterday, Sukes Idao and Su Yuanru kicked me without holding back. After sleeping for a while and waking up, I felt as if my internal organs had shifted, and it was agonizing. Plus, I hadn't eaten all night. I was so weak I could barely see clearly. Comrade Jiang Shen, Saido asked me to take good care of you. Song Jingnian slowly sat down by the bed. I have something good here. Drink this. It cures all ailments. Do you want to try it? He handed over the bottle of acid. His words were full of temptation. Drink it, and your wounds will heal. You can escape from Sukes Idao. I opened my blurry eyes and reached out to take it. Southwest Military Region. Sukes Idao was training new recruits. A sudden sense of panic filled her heart, causing her to almost lose her balance. Lieutenant, what's wrong? A guard immediately came forward to support her. Sukes Idao shook her head. She intended to continue speaking, but waves of heart palpitations made it impossible for her to work any longer. She hurriedly handed over the training duties to the battalion commander and drove home herself. At that moment, Su Yuanru was also rushing home nonstop. The two met at an intersection. Sis, why are you back? Sukes Idao didn't stop walking. I'm worried. I'm going to check on Jiang Shen. Just as they were about to enter the yard, they saw a woman dressed in a pure black uniform coming from another small alley. Excuse me. Does Jiang Shen live here? Sukes Idao sized her up. Who are you? What do you want with him? Gu Qinghan smiled gently. You must be Lieutenant Su. Nice to meet you. My name is Gu Qinghan. I am Comrade Jing Then's fiancé. Sukes Idao shot her head up. Her gaze was like a knife. Comrade Gu, you can't just say things like that. Jiang Shen is my husband. Our marriage application will be approved today. The smile on Gu Qinghan's face didn't reach her eyes. Lieutenant Su, don't speak too soon. It hasn't been approved yet. Sukes Idao was angered by her dismissive tone. What do you mean? I don't care who you are. I won't let Jiang Shen go with you. Su Yuanru's face was also filled with indignation. He's not going anywhere. For so many years, he has dedicated himself to our family. How could he bear to leave? Upon hearing this, Gu Qinghan's face turned cold. You said it yourself. Your family, because you've never considered Jiang Shen as family, so what's wrong with me taking him away? Su Yuanru stepped closer to Gu Qinghan. Her furious gaze looked like it wanted to swallow her whole. With just one word from us, he can't leave. He's very obedient to me and my sister. Are you saying that because of this contract? Jiang Shen has no choice but to obey you. Gu Qinghan coldly threw an agreement at the two sisters. Sukes Idao and Su Yuanru read it quickly and finished reading the entire contract. When they saw the end date and my signature, it was like a bolt of lightning struck their minds. The contract stipulated that for these 5 years, whatever the Su sisters needed, I had to find a way to satisfy them. I had to meticulously take care of their daily lives. Furthermore, I had to ensure the lives and safety of the two of them. So for the past 5 years, my bottomless love for them was fake. Sukes Idao remembered these past few days. I kept mentioning the countdown. Her heart twisted in pain. It turned out I had never loved her. So when the time was up, I couldn't wait to leave. If she hadn't locked the door yesterday, by the time she got home from work today, I would have already vanished without a trace. Thinking of this, she clutched the contract, intending to rush to me and demand an explanation. Suddenly, the second-floor window was pushed open. A familiar figure fell like a broken butterfly. Jiang Shen, Suxidao and Su Yuanru eyes widened. They were about to rush over, but Gu Qinghan was faster. In an instant, she had steadily caught me. I struggled to open my eyes and grabbed Gu Qinghan collar tightly. "Please, take me away." Gu Qinghan took a deep breath. "Okay, it'll take you away." Suxidao raised her hand to stop her. "Comrade Gu, where do you think you're taking my family member?" Gu Qinghan didn't even look at her and continued walking quickly. Suxidao panicked. "Which military region do you belong to? Your rank can't be higher than mine. What right do you have to take Jiang Shen away? What if I'm the one who wants to take my son away? Does Lieutenant Su want to stop me too?" A solemn and steady voice came from ahead. Suxidao shot her head up. Dazzled by the medals on the man's chest, she knew this man. At the National Conference of Military Region Generals, he sat next to the commander. He was the director of the National Security Bureau. "Lieutenant Su, thank you for taking care of my son for many years. Now I want to take him home." Suxidao gritted her teeth and said, "Director Jiang Shen and I are already married." Jiang Qingquak tilted his head. A guard handed a marriage application to Suxidao. On it were the three words "not approved," deeply etched into her eyes, causing tears to fall from her eyes uncontrollably. "No, don't take my Jiang Shen away." Just as Gu Qinghan helped me into the car, she saw a pale hand stopping her. I sighed and sat up, looking towards Suxidao and Su Yuanru. "Lieutenant Su, the 5 years are up. I owe the Su family nothing." After saying that, I decisively closed the car door. From here on, the sky is vast and the sea is wide. I would never see these two again, but who knew that after I left, the Su sisters would go completely crazy. "Sis, Jiang Shen is gone. Let's go home." After the car left, Suxidao stood at the intersection for a full 3 hours, like a motionless statue. In her mind, she couldn't help but think about the first time she met me, a 16-year-old boy, tall and thin, with a handsome, youthful face. I was very diligent, always waking up before dawn to prepare their breakfast. When Suxidao went to the military region, I would take Su Yuanru to school with a flashlight. When she got drunk with her army comrades and threw up all over herself, I wasn't disgusted in the slightest. As I tucked her in, I gently said, "Sux, stop drinking." "Okay." Those gentle words created a storm in her heart. For the first time, Suxidao discovered her heart flutter for me. After that, she proposed to me. I agreed without a second thought. I didn't even mind that she never got the marriage certificate. I was willing to stay at the Su family's house without any official status. She thought I was madly in love with her and would never leave her. But now, Suxidao's face was blank. She gripped the marriage application, her fingers turning white. Su Yuanru couldn't take it anymore and said loudly, "Sis, anyway, he was just a free nanny at our house. If he's gone, he's gone. He treated us so well. Wasn't it because you're a lieutenant in the military region? Now that he has a father with a higher rank, he's definitely using his family connections to climb higher. I think you're a better match for brother Jing Nian. It's a good thing he's gone." Making way for brother Jing Nian, Su Yuanru. It was the first time Suxidao had looked at her so fiercely. "Jiang Shen is your only brother-in-law." Su Yuanru was startled and said blankly, "But has already gone." Suxidao's face darkened. She turned and went home. Song Jing Nian was in the living room, eating oranges and watching TV. He smiled when he saw the two sisters. "Xidao, Yuanru, you're finally back." Suxidao glanced at him and frowned. "Jing Nian, I remember only you and Jiang Shen were home today. Why did Jiang Shen jump from the second floor? Is that what happened?" Song Jing Nian's eyes turned red. His face was full of the grievance of being misunderstood. "Xidao, how could you wrong me? Today, after I finished cooking, I was going to bring it up to Comrade Jiang Shen, but as soon as he saw the door open, he tried to run out. I was afraid you'd be sad after he left, so I tried my best to persuade him for a long time. I didn't expect that he would take advantage of my inattention to push me away and jump out the window." After speaking, Song Jing Nian showed them the wound on his forehead. I couldn't hold him back. Instead, I was pushed into a cabinet and passed out. I just woke up, seeing the suspicion in Suxidao's eyes disappear. He dared to approach her. "Xidao, it was my fault for not watching Comrade Jiang Shen properly. Punish me." After all, he was a man she once loved. Suxidao still felt a bit reluctant. "Jing Nian, it's not your fault. This is a matter between our Su family and Jiang Shen." After speaking, she told him about the contract and comforted him, telling him not to blame himself. After hearing this, Song Jingnian was ecstatic inside. A flash of glee appeared in his eyes. He asked caringly, "So it was just a contract? Xidao, you don't need to take it too seriously. After all, you and he didn't have feelings for each other. It's better for everyone that has gone." He earnestly comforted her, not noticing that Suxidao's expression was getting uglier. Receiving no response, Song Jingnian was a little awkward. He quickly signaled to Su Yuanru to help him, but Su Yuanru had just stepped on a landmine, and now she didn't even dare to breathe loudly. "Who said I'd done a feelings for him?" Song Jingnian's smile immediately froze on his face. Suxidao lowered her head and looked at the marriage application, where she had written, stroke by stroke, Mutual love, special permission is requested. She only felt unbearable pain. In the 3 years without news from Song Jingnian, it hadn't been this painful. She clenched her fists. I will find him. Sooks will only marry Jiang Shen in this lifetime. Song Jingnian's face instantly turned pale. The next morning, Su Yuanru woke up in a daze. She opened the door and yelled, Jiang Shen, where's breakfast? I'm going to be late. Why didn't you wake me up? Only after speaking did she remember yesterday's events. She couldn't help but look towards the master bedroom. Su Xidao was already in her military uniform, standing at the door with a gloomy expression. Xidao! Yuan-Ru, come down for breakfast. A gentle voice came from the first floor. The two sisters' eyes lit up. They quickly ran downstairs, but they saw a beaming Song Jingnian standing by the dining table. A heavy sense of disappointment washed over their faces. Song Jingnian saw this and nearly ground his teeth to dust. Xidao! Yuan-Ru, I made egg congee. Hurry and have some breakfast. Su Xidao and Su Yuan-Ru looked at the bowl of congee on the table, and at the same time thought of when I was still here, the table full of steamed buns and fried cakes. Song Jingnian attentively served the two of them. Xidao! This is the first time I've cooked. Have a taste. Su Xidao saw that there were clearly green scallions in the congee, and frowned. I don't eat scallions. You forgot. Song Jingnian was stunned. He stammered. I'm sorry. Xidao, I'll cook you a new bowl. Forget it. I'll eat at the canteen. I'm leaving. Su Xidao had lost her appetite. She walked straight out of the house. Su Yuanru was afraid Song Jingnian would feel bad. She hurriedly took a big sip, but the next second, she gagged and spat it all out. Song Jingnian leaped 3 meters away, afraid it would splash onto him. Yuan-Ru! What's wrong? Su Yuan-Ru clutched her throat. Her expression was pained. A big piece of eggshell is stuck in my throat. Finally walking out the door, Su Yuan-Ru herself didn't realize that she had let out a sigh of relief. In her heart, she couldn't help but think of me. It would be nice if he were still here. A strong wave of regret struck her heart, making her turn pale. The military district canteen. Good morning. Lieutenant Su, why are you eating at the canteen? Was brother-in-law too lazy to make breakfast for you today? Those buns your brother-in-law sent last time were so delicious. Lieutenant, have your brother-in-law cooked the New Year's Eve dinner with us this year? You gluttons. Last time, brother-in-law came to bring food because he knew Lieutenant Su was sick, but you girls ended up eating it all, and you still want brother-in-law to come cook for you. The lieutenant and her brother-in-law make us single people so envious. Su Xidao bit in her sweet potato. In her heart, a longing for me surged like a tidal wave. It grew stronger and stronger. Last night, she had intended to search through my things, to see if I had left her even a single word, but she discovered that at some point, I had already cleared out all my belongings. Spotlessly, without leaving a single trace, as if I had never lived there. Thinking of this, she couldn't sit still for another moment. She rushed into the office of the military district commander. Commander, I request a transfer to the Jingbei military district, even if it means a demotion. The commander sat behind his desk. He looked at her in surprise. Comrade Su, why is that your mother and sister are both here, and yet you want to go to Jingbei? Su Xidao gave a bitter smile. Commander, my husband and I had a small misunderstanding. He ran off to Jingbei. The commander was even more bewildered. Was your marriage application rejected? Xidao! The superiors didn't approve it. They must have deemed that man unsuitable for you. There are plenty of good men in our unit. If you want to get married, you can consider them. Su Xidao shook her head resolutely. In this lifetime, I will only have him. Please grant my request. Commander. A moment later, the commander sighed. He took out a telegram. Xidao! It's not that I won't help you, it's that the superiors have issued an order. You are not to be transferred out of the Southwest Military District for a year. This sentence was like a bolt from the blue. It made Su Xidao's straight spine slump. Does he want to avoid me that much? In the evening, Song Jingnian came to pick her up. One glance at Su Xidao revealed a distraught woman. He hurried forward. Xidao! Is something wrong at work? Before Su Xidao could speak, she heard her subordinate guards passing by, shouting loudly. Hello, Lieutenant. Hello, brother-in-law. She immediately frowned. Her gaze met Song Jingnian's embarrassed expression. She paused for a moment. They're just joking. Don't mind them. Song Jingnian took a step closer to her. His voice was gentle. How could I possibly mind? Xidao! For the past 5 years, I've missed you so much. During my days abroad, I relied on our memories to get by. You have no idea how much I wanted to come back to you. Su Xidao's pupils trembled slightly. She felt the warmth of Song Jingnian's hand on her arm. A feeling of discomfort welled up inside her. Jingnian. We are in the past now. Su Xidao coldly pushed away Song Jingnian, who was hugging her. The military district has been busy with missions lately. Yuan-Ru also has to focus on studying for her college entrance exams. If you need something, just call my office directly. Song Jingnian's face turned pale. The meaning of this sentence was to tell him not to appear before her unless he had business. How could he bear it? Sukes, What do you mean? Have you forgotten the vows we made to each other? Have you forgotten that I saved you and Yuan-Ru? How I got you out of that fire? How can Jiangshen possibly compare to me? Has never even read a book. Is just a simple country bumpkin. Are you choosing him over me? Suxidao looked at the frantic Song Jingnian before her. Suddenly, he seemed like a complete stranger. If it weren't for the fact that you saved us, I wouldn't have indulged you this much. She thought of me. A deep affection appeared in her eyes. Even if Jiangshen can't compare to you in any way, I still love him. Song Jingnian returned home. Dazed and dispirited, in the mailbox lay a letter from America. As soon as he opened it, he was terrified. He threw the photo in his hand to the ground. My son! Don't hurt my son! In the photo was a 3-year-old child. His body was covered in wounds. His face was black and blue. His eyes were terrified, as if pleading for help from his father thousands of miles away. Song Jingnian, in pain, clutched the photo to his chest. He gritted his teeth and said, "Tun, wait for daddy to bring you home." Suxidao didn't see Song Jingnian for several days. She thought he had gotten the message, so she paid it no mind. She had already planned to take leave next week to find me. After buying a train ticket to Jingbei City, she began preparing gifts. 5 years ago, she had been too busy. She never thought of giving me anything. Now she wanted to make up for it all. Imagining my delighted expression when I saw the gifts, she couldn't help but smile. But as soon as she stepped out of the store, she clearly heard people around her whispering about her. Isn't she the person from the newspaper? That's the soldier who abandoned her faithful boyfriend and fell for the son of a high-ranking official. She looks so proper on the outside. How can her heart be so ugly? Suxidao was about to go up and ask for clarification, but she was stopped by Su Yuan-Ru, who rushed over. "Sister, this is bad. Quick! Look at the newspaper." Suxidao took it. She saw the large headline on the front page. It clearly read, "Faithful boyfriend who saved lives in fire is abandoned. Son of noble family seizes opportunity to steal lover." The article changed the names of Song Jingnian and Suxidao, but the 2 words Jiangshen were published without a single change. In this small region, one could immediately guess which family this was about. The more Suxidao read, the darker her face became. "This is simply nonsense. Who wrote this? Tell them to come see me." Su Yuan-Ru was sweating all over with anxiety. "Sister, it's too late. The commander called the house. He told you to go see him immediately." The commander slammed the newspaper on the table with a thwack. He angrily scolded, "Sux, what on earth is this about? You've completely disgraced our military personnel." This scolding made Suxidao tremble all over. The reputation she had built over so many years in the military was destroyed in an instant because of a newspaper. "Commander, I will investigate this thoroughly." The commander's face was stern. "What good will your investigation do? The urgent task now is to reverse the public's impression. Tell me yourself. What should be done?" Suxidao clenched her jaw. "I will publish a newspaper article myself to clarify things." "Really? By the time the article is approved for publishing, it will be too late." Just when the tension was at its peak, a clear voice came through. "Commander." "Xidao, I have a solution." Suxidao turned her head to look at Song Jingnian. Her expression immediately became stern. "This is a restricted military area. How did you get in?" Su Yuan-Ru followed behind Song Jingnian. "Sister, I brought brother Jingnian in." Song Jingnian looked full of concern. "Yuan-Ru told me what happened. I was very worried about you." Suxidao pursed her lips. "What's this solution you mentioned?" Song Jingnian put on a concerned and wronged expression. "He'll marry you, as long as we hold a wedding. They will know the truth." Suxidao naturally refused. "Impossible." Song Jingnian's eyes were red. "Xidao, I just want to help you get through this difficulty. The rumors outside are so ugly right now. If the organization finds out, what if they blame you for having messy relationships?" Hesitation showed in Suxidao's eyes. Song Jingnian pressed his advantage. "As for Jiangshen, as in Jingbei now, who there would know him or speak ill of him to his face? The urgent matter is to take care of your reputation. Jingbei, the Jiang family home. I walked in my father's study holding a newspaper, but I found Gu Qinghan was there too." "Jiangshen, what's wrong?" I glanced at Gu Qinghan and said, "It's nothing." "Father, department head, please continue with your work." Gu Qinghan called me back. "Jiangshen, is this about the newspaper article?" I lowered my eyes and nodded. I thought that after leaving the Su family, Suxidao and Song Jingnian would leave me alone. I never expected they would use such despicable means to slander me. My father understood and said, "Tiuhan already knows about this. She has already taken care of it. She was just reporting to me now. Do you want to listen?" I was stunned. "Taken care of?" Gu Qinghan smiled gently. She pulled out a chair for me to sit. "Don't worry. I've found the reporter who wrote the article. He has confessed who the mastermind behind it was, as well as an old matter." I looked at her curiously, but I saw that her beautiful eyes were filled with sympathy. "Years ago, you saved the 2 Su sisters, didn't you? You rushed into a fire without hesitation, but Song Jingnian stole the credit." My eyes widened in disbelief. "It was all Song Jingnian's scheme, right?" Gu Qinghan nodded. She said sympathetically, "You've suffered for so many years. I didn't cry when I was slandered and insulted. I didn't cry when I was beaten and abused. But for some reason, Gu Qinghan's gentle words made the corners of my eyes turn red. For the first time, I spoke with such grievance, but they all refused to believe me. My father and Gu Qinghan were endlessly sympathetic. They quickly comforted me. Don't be afraid, from now on, Jiang Shen, you have father and Tu Han. We will absolutely not let you be wronged again. That Song Jing Nian, I've already had him arrested. The police chief received the order from his superior. He immediately arranged for a dispatch. 2 police cars drove into the Southwest Military Complex. In the commander's office, Song Jingnian was still waiting for Suk Sai-Dao answer. Just as Suk Sai-Dao was about to nod in agreement, a clear knock sounded at the door. The police rushed in. They walked up to Song Jingnian. Song Jingnian, you are suspected of using the press to slander and spread rumors. Please come with us to the police station to cooperate with the investigation. This sentence was like a bolt of lightning. It struck Song Jingnian, making his legs go weak. He nearly fell to the ground. His expression changed drastically, but he still tried to feign composure. I didn't do it. How could I have slandered anyone? Someone else reported it. I didn't write it. What does it have to do with me? I'm the victim. Suxi Dao was a bit dazed, but she still instinctively defended Song Jingnian. Comrade, could there be some misunderstanding here? Su Wenru was utterly shocked. That's right. How could Brother Jingnian do such a thing? The police officer said flatly. Lieutenant Su, we know you and Song Jingnian have a deep relationship, but please do not let your personal feelings interfere with official business. Su Sai-Dao frowned, showing her displeasure. Comrade, what kind of attitude is that? Am I not allowed to raise a reasonable question? Lieutenant Su, if you don't believe it, then hear the testimony for yourself. After saying that, 2 police officers brought in a thin, frail man. Su Sai-Dao exclaimed in surprise. His name was reporter Tran. Tran Hai, a minor reporter, had never seen such a scene. He fell to his knees with a thud. Lieutenant Su, I confess everything. Beg you, please don't shoot me. Song Jingnian told me to write all the reports. He gave me 5 yuan. He told me to do my best to smear you in Jiangshen so that he could find an opportunity to marry you, and also the story about the fire rescue before. He also asked me to write that fake news. Every word from the reporter exploded in Su Dao's mind, making her vision go dark. She lunged forward and grabbed Tran Hai by the collar. Her elegant face was distorted. What did you say? Tran Hai trembled all over in fear. The one who actually saved you and your sister that day was Jiang Shen. In order to get close to you, Song Jingnian plotted to steal his credit. Song Jingnian shouted loudly. That's not it. Xi Dao, this scum is framing me. You can't listen to him. A sharp pain shot through Suxi Dao temples. In a daze, she seemed to remember the scene from that day. In the raging fire, a thin figure ran towards her without hesitation. She finally saw his face clearly. It was Jiang Shen. Xi Dao, hold on. I won't let you die. In the high heat and thick smoke, I struggled to pull her and Su Yuanru out of the restaurant. The fire tore at my skin and burned my scalp. I didn't make a sound until we were safe. I finally collapsed beside her. Suxeda's eyes were red as if burned by fire. She rushed forward and slapped Song Jingnian hard. You scum! How dare you lie to me? Song Jingnian held his stinging cheek. His face was full of shock. Ranged, he said. Xi Dao, you hit me. Just because of these words, you immediately suspect me. Su Sai-Dao was trembling with anger. You drove Jiang Shen away. You deliberately schemed to make me misunderstand him. It was all you. Song Jingni's eyes also turned red. Sux, even though I framed him, don't you forget, the words and actions that hurt Jiang Shen were all your own doing. Now you're acting like you're so clean. You are the main culprits. Su Sai-Dao's body went stiff. That's right. It was they who didn't trust me. Their lack of appreciation made me leave so decisively. At this moment, regret spread like the tide, tormenting her entire heart with pain. Su Sai-Dao turned her head to plead with the commander. Commander, in requesting your approval for a week's leave, I want to go to Jingbei City. She had to go to me now and say sorry with her own mouth, and also the I love you that was years overdue. Hello? Department head Gu. I came out of Kim University's library and ran into Gu Qinghan walking towards me. Gu Qinghan said, a little helplessly, Jiang Shen, just call me by my name. I looked at this closest playmate from my childhood. In my memories, she led me to chase cats and dogs, raid birds' nests. This girl next door, although she was younger than me, she took care of me like an older sister and never called me brother. Without me knowing, she had grown up to be tall and beautiful. While I, having wasted 5 years, was now even further from her, I suppressed the unspeakable insecurity in my heart and said in a low voice, that wouldn't be appropriate. Gu Qinghan didn't force me. She said, let me take you home. The 2 of us walked silently through the snow. Passing by 2 snowmen, I couldn't help but stop. There's no snow in the southwest region. I hadn't built a snowman in a long time. Gu Qinghan asked, do you want to play? Hearing that, I froze. I instinctively shook my head. For the past 5 years, I was always very busy. There were many things to take care of inside and outside the Su house. Over time, I had forgotten how to have fun. But even so, Su Sai-Dao and Su Yuanru still criticized me for being boring. Apart from housework, I knew nothing else. Gu Qinghan took my hand. It's okay, if Director Jiang asks later. He'll take the blame for you. Don't. I was burned by the warmth of her palm. The bottom of my heart began to warm up. The two of us, like 7 or 8-year-old children, pulled off our coat buttons to use as eyes. We looked at the funny snowmen and smiled brightly. When we got home, Father had already finished eating. Seeing us in this messy state, he asked, "Did you two get robbed?" Gu Qinghan and I looked at each other. I smiled and said, "Father." Department head Gu and I went to build a snowman. Father poured us hot tea to warm up. "This girl doesn't even know to take Jiang Shen to do something classier. I thought you two were little kids running around naked. Why don't you mention how you had a snowball fight with the soldiers last year and threw out your back?" Tiuhan, Gu Qinghan knew when to stop. Then she looked at me. "Will you go to the movies with me tomorrow?" My eyes lit up. I nodded lightly. Gu Qinghan stayed for dinner at my house before leaving. Seeing her to the door, I said, "Goodbye, Qinghan. See you tomorrow." Gu Qinghan gently raised an eyebrow. She waved at me. "Good night." Jiang Shen, our small interaction was immediately caught by my father. He waited for me to close the door, then hurriedly asked, "Jiang Shen, what do you think of Qinghan?" I was a little embarrassed. "She's very nice." Father patted my shoulder emotionally. "For so many years, she never gave up looking for you. Every time a male comrade in her unit asked, she would say she already had someone in her heart. I can see that Tiuhan is sincere towards you." My heart skipped a beat. Such a good person like Gu Qinghan. How could I have ever forgotten her? The next day, I got up early, tidied up, and waited for her at the door. Gu Qinghan wasn't wearing her military uniform today. She wore a dress paired with a black coat. She looked at me deeply. "You look very handsome today." I revealed a slight smile. "It's my first time going to the movies. I thought I should dress up a bit. Then I have the movie to thank for this." My face felt hot. Before I could say anything else, a clear voice interrupted. "Jiang Shen, I finally found you." Su Xidao strode over energetically. She looked at me. Her eyes showed surprise. "Jiang Shen, it's only been a few days. You've changed so much." Coldly dodged her outstretched hand and didn't respond. Su Xidao was hurt by my cold attitude. "Jiang Shen, I've come to take you home." Gu Qinghan pulled me behind her. "Are you in your right mind?" "Lieutenant Su, this is Jiang Then's real home." Su Xidao looked at our joined hands. She clenched her fists in jealousy. "Comrade Gu, men and women should not be so close. Let go Jiang Shen immediately." "Lieutenant Su, this is a new era. Don't use your old-fashioned ideas to imprison Jiang Then's normal interactions." Gu Qinghan did not back down. Her tone was firm. I gently patted Gu Qinghan's hand and stepped out from behind her. Seeing me take the initiative to approach her, Su couldn't help but be wildly overjoyed. "Jiang Shen, I knew you couldn't bear to leave me. I already know about Song Jingnian's despicable behavior. Don't worry. It'll help you get your revenge." I listened to her meaningless sweet talk, and it only felt ridiculous. Even now, she was blaming everything on Song Jingnian. It was clear she hadn't realized her own mistakes. "Sukes, I made it very clear that day. It's been over between us for a long time. You and I have no relationship anymore. Please don't come and disturb my life." My resolute attitude of drawing a line made it hard for Su Xidao to accept. "Jiang Shen, I know I was wrong. Can't you give me a chance to make it right? From now on, I will definitely treat you well, as long as you want. I'll submit our marriage application immediately. From now on, I will definitely love you with my life." I let out a cold laugh. "Sukes, I don't need any of the things you've said. Give them to Song Jingnian." The color instantly drained from Su Xidao's face. "Jiang Shen, why? You weren't like this before." I looked at her in silence. "That's right. I wasn't like this before. Before, I only knew how to obey Su Xidao orders, revolving around her all day, pleasing her, endlessly tolerating her temper and coldness, but I groveled in the dust just to please her, only to get vicious scoldings and a broken rib in return. Now, I'm only dishing out 1,000th of what I once endured, and she already can't take it. It's truly disgusting." Su Xidao panicked and took out several gift boxes. "Jiang Shen, I brought you gifts. Look, do you like them? If you don't, it'll take you to buy something else. This is the shirt you wanted, and the roses you tried to plant but failed. There's also the chestnut cake you often brought home." My expression was one of utter disappointment. "Sukes, this shirt was from the first and only time you ever took me out. I wanted it, but you used all the money you had to buy Song Jingnian an expensive coat. I planted roses because you like them, and the reason you like roses is because Song Jingnian likes them. Sukes, in 5 years, you didn't know I was allergic to chestnuts." Su Xidao's eyes went blank. "You're allergic to chestnuts? Why didn't you tell me?" I cut her off. "I did tell you. On the day you proposed to me, the entire box of pastries fell to the ground." I sighed. "What a pity. You could have brought them home for Su Yuanru to eat." That one sentence felt like torture to Su Xidao's heart. I'm allergic to chestnuts, yet she often bought chestnut cake. It was because her younger sister liked to eat them, Su Xidao said in a hoarse voice. "I'm sorry." I said no more. I took Yu Qinghan's hand and walked past her. Even after we arrived at the movie theater, my mood was still very low. Yu Qinghan pulled me to our seats, and only then did I snap out of it. "What movie are we watching?" "A foreign crime-solving movie. It's about a forensic scientist's story. I was a little curious. I immediately forgot about Suicide and focused on the movie. In the film, the professional and dashing image of the forensic scientist was deeply imprinted in my mind. I was still savoring it even after leaving the theater. Gu Qinghan asked me amusedly, "Fallen in love with forensics?" My eyes lit up and I nodded. "I think this job is very special and very meaningful. If only I could be a forensic scientist." "Jiang Shen, you're so smart. You definitely can, but I haven't even finished high school. I'm worried I'm not qualified to study forensics." Gu Qinghan comforted me. "Don't worry. I'm here." Before I could react, Gu Qinghan had already taken me to the Kunbak City Police Station. A veteran forensic scientist, after seeing how steady my hands were with a needle and scalpel, praised me repeatedly. He immediately wanted to take me as his last disciple. I looked at Gu Qinghan in surprise. The old forensic scientist shrewdly glanced over. "What is it?" "Young man, you don't want to," I immediately said. "Master, I do. Although I don't understand anything right now, but I will do my best to learn from you, then start coming in tomorrow to learn on shifts." Walking out of the police station, I still felt like I was in a dream. Is this real, or am I still in the movie? Gu Qinghan found me adorable. She poked my forehead. "Pinch yourself. See if you're dreaming." I really did give myself a hard pinch. Then I said in pleasant surprise, "It's real." Gu Qinghan smiled. "Don't worry. Director Jiang and Master Truong have been good friends for many years. You can study with him without worry. If you run into any difficulties, just come find me." I looked at her calm and refined eyebrows, and a sweet, fluttering feeling rose in my heart. "Thank you, Qinghan." Gu Qinghan looked at me and said seriously, "I told you when we were kids, I will take care of you for the rest of my life. That has never changed. When we were young, because of our childhood betrothal, we were always teased by the other village kids. Everyone in the village knew Gu Qinghan was my child bride, and little Qinghan was also very responsible. With her fearless personality, she always took very good care of me, no matter when or where. Back then, we both firmly believed that we would always be together. I let my years of pent-up emotions pour out. Qinghan, I missed you so much." Then I pulled her tightly into my arms. Gu Qinghan responded with deep emotion. "Jiang Shen, me too. From now on, let's never be apart again." Okay. The sun had completely set. A rosy glow bloomed, a rare and beautiful sight. But it couldn't shine into the prison. Su Yuanru brought food and clothes for Song Jingnian. Looking a haggard man before her, she couldn't help but ask, "Why did you have to do that?" Song Jingnian sneered. "Who told Jiang Shen to take my place? He deserves it." Even though he had approached the Su family with ill intentions, when he saw a new man by Suxidao's side, he was still insanely jealous. If he had mistaken someone else for his affair partner back then, there would be no Jiang Shen. Su Yuanru defended me for the first time. "He didn't take your place. You were the one who left first, Brother Jingnian. You've changed. You never did things like this before." Song Jingnian scoffed. "It's not your place to lecture me. I'm quite curious. You act like you hate him so much. So why did you secretly hide his photo in your room?" Su Yuanru's face turned pale. She whispered, "How did you know?" Song Jingnian laughed coldly. "What do I know? I know that on the day of the fire, you were clearly awake. Or were you lusting after your brother-in-law and cooperated with me to drive a wedge between your sister and him?" When she walked out of the prison, Su Yuanru was covered in a cold sweat. Song Jingnian's seductive voice still seemed to echo in her ears. "Yuanru, you and I have the same goal. Why don't you cooperate with me? Once we succeed, Jiang Shen will be yours." On my first day of work, there were no cases. Master Truong gave me a few books. Medicine itself was already difficult to understand, and forensic knowledge was even more complex. He originally thought I wouldn't last an hour, but unexpectedly, I was able to study quietly all morning, filling up a whole notebook with knowledge. At noon, Gu Qinghan came to bring me lunch. Only then did I reluctantly put down my books. Gu Qinghan laid out the food on the table one by one. "I made the sweet and sour pork ribs you loved as a child. Try it and see if it's good." I picked up my chopsticks expectantly. "It looks delicious already." Back at the Su family home, I always prioritized the taste of Suxidao and Su Yuanru. No one ever cared what I liked to eat. "If you like it, it'll bring you lunch every day." Just as I raised my chopsticks, a young police officer ran in. "Comrade Jiang, someone's at the station entrance, saying they're here to bring you lunch." Gu Qinghan and I looked at each other in confusion, but we still walked outside. Standing at the entrance was none other than Suxidao. "Jiang Shen, I heard you started working. I came to bring you lunch." I frowned. This is the first time I found Suxidao to be so unreasonable. "No need. I already have lunch." Suxidao looked towards Gu Qinghan, hostility clear in her eyes. "Comrade Gu, thank you for taking care of Jiang Shen, but next time, please don't interfere in the family matters between me and Jiang Shen." I never thought that the first time Suxidao would admit I was family would be when she was jealous of someone else. If this were before, when I was lonely and helpless, I might have felt some warmth and gratitude. But now, her cheap affection is something I don't want at all. Between us, there was only an agreement. Suxidao hastily interrupted. "I already know the whole truth. Jiang Shen, 5 years of living together day and night, how could that not be real? your kindness and thoughtfulness towards me. I felt it all. I don't believe you don't have any feelings for me. I looked at the tall woman in front of me and said flatly, I admit I used to have expectations of you. A hint of emotion rose in Suksaidao's heart. I knew it. Jiang Shen, I've already cut ties with Song Jingnian. I won't let him appear in front of you again, and I won't let him cause trouble at our home. Come home with me. Jiang Shen, let's have a grand wedding. I'll announce that you are my one and only lover. I sneered, a look of ridicule in my eyes. You've misunderstood. I never loved you, and that little bit of expectation has been completely worn away by your choices. To me now, you are an unimportant stranger. Suksaidao's eyes were filled with pleading and hurt. Jiang Shen, don't say things out of anger. I haven't had feelings for Song Jingnian for a long time. The person I like is you. Yuan Ru also knows she was wrong. She wants to apologize to you in person. We all miss you very much. Miss me, or miss the meticulous care and pleasing I gave. What you're missing isn't me, but an obedient servant and a guard dog. A cold wind swept through Suksaidao's heart, making it hard for her to breathe. It's not like that. My eyes became calm again. Suks, I'm very grateful to Auntie Sue for helping me in the past. Now that the debt is repaid, I have my own life. I want to fulfill my dreams. Jiang Shen, I'm not stopping you from pursuing your ideals. After we reconcile, you can still live this life. Family and dreams can coexist. I sidestepped her advance. Sumi, the Su family home is a cage for a bird with broken wings. I've endured it for 5 years. Let's part on good terms. Suks, don't make me hate you. Suksaidao's was struck down by 1,000 swords, no longer daring to meet my cold gaze. She turned and left in a daze. Gu Qinghan snorted coldly. Not cherishing what you have. What's the use of regretting it after it's lost? I rarely saw this childish side of her, and it was a bit funny. Gu Qinghan held my hand. I will absolutely never treat you like she did. Trust me. Under my diligent study, in just half a year, I was able to assist Master Truong with autopsies. When the police station was short-staffed, I would also go to crime scenes. Meanwhile, Song Jingnian was finally released. Staggering home, he immediately went to the mailbox to retrieve the letters that had been piling up for a long time. The newest one was a black and white photocopy. His son, Tun, because he had lost contact for so long, had been executed. In the photo, the boy lay crying in a pool of blood with his eyes closed, still clutching the toy Song Jingnian had bought him even in death. Small toy car, Song Jingnian wailed in pain, tears streaming down his face. Why is his life so tragic? Why doesn't Suksaidao's want him? While Jiangshen is loved by everyone, it's all their fault my son is dead. Song Jingnian staggered to his feet and took that bottle of acid out of the cabinet. I want all of you to join my son in the grave. Su Ru came home from school. As soon as she pushed the door open, she smelled the strong scent of alcohol. Ever since Suksaidao's returned from Kunbak City, her spirit seemed to have collapsed. She drowned her sorrows in alcohol all day. Su Ru looked at the messy house and the wine bottles all over the floor, and unable to bear it, rushed into the master bedroom. Sister, how long are you going to be like this? Suks, with drunk, blurry eyes, lifted her head. How could he have never loved me? How could he be so heartless? Su, leave just like that. Su Ru froze for a moment, realizing that Suksaidao's was muttering about me. A hint of joy rose in her heart. If I had never liked her sister, did that mean she still had a chance? After comforting Suksaidao's, Su Ru was about to go out and buy lunch, but she saw a guard running over anxiously. Yuan Ru, where is the lieutenant? I have good news to tell her. What good news? The guard said. The 2 forensic scientists providing support from Kinbak City have arrived. One of them is Comrade Jiang Shen. Su Yuan Ru heart thumped wildly. Without saying another word, she rushed outside. At the police station, an official vehicle slowly stopped at the entrance. The chief hurried forward to greet them. Master Truong, Comrade Jiang, you two must be tired from your long journey. Thank you for your hard work. I followed behind Master Truong, wearing a police uniform, with a police-issue trench coat over it. I looked handsome and sharp. The chief's eyes lit up, as if he remembered who I was. Comrade Jiang, you look familiar. Your Saidao man smiled faintly and interrupted. Chief, the case is important. Let's have the meeting first. This was a serial murder case. There were already 5 victims. After Master Truong and I understood the case situation, we immediately got to work. After a few hours, I submitted the report to the criminal investigation team and went back to the dormitory with Master Truong to rest. Just as we walked out of the police station, we were called out to Brother Jiang Shen. I looked up to see Su Yuan Ru holding a bouquet of roses. What are you doing here? Su Yuan Ru seemed to ignore the coldness in my voice and walked up with a smile, holding out the roses. I heard you were back. I came especially to welcome you. I listened to the clumsy words from her mouth and that bouquet of red roses and took a step back. Thank you. I appreciate the thought. Take your things back. I only thought she had come as a persuader for Suksaidao's. Please move. I need to take my master back to the dormitory. Su Yuan Ru opened her mouth, looking a little aggrieved. Brother Jiang Shen, I waited for you all afternoon. After speaking, she looked pitifully at Master Truong. Master Truong understood clearly and said, Little Jiang, No need to see me off. If you have something to do, take care of it first. I also wanted to make things clear with Su Yuan-ru, so I apologized to Master Trung. I'm sorry. Master, be careful on your way. Come back early. Come back early. Otherwise, when King Yin asked later, I won't cover for you. I smiled and saw Master Trung off, then turned to look at Su Yuan-ru and said flatly, let's go. Su Yuan-ru saw the change in my attitude and felt very unbalanced. Why don't you smile at me like that? I looked at her strangely. Who I smile at is my business. If you have a problem with it, then go find Song Jing Nian. Now, the three words Song Jing Nian were like a thorn, stabbing into the hearts of Su Xidao and Su Yuan-ru. It was painful just to hear it. I won't say any more. Don't be angry. We went to a restaurant. Before all the dishes had arrived, Su Yuan-ru couldn't hold it in any longer. She had been cared for by me since she was young. Now, with the sudden family misfortune, her standard of living had plummeted. She was full of grievances and had finally found someone to confide in. She pitifully described how miserably she was living, not eating well, not dressing warmly, and her grades were slipping too. She also said that because she was young, she had been deceived by Song Jingyan for many years. It wasn't until I left that she came to her senses. During this time, she was full of regret and self-blame, only wanting to apologize to me in person and make it up to me properly. I found it laughable. I asked, do you want me to go back to the Su family and marry your sister and continue to serve your every need? Su Yuan-ru looked at my hand on the table and, with fierce determination in her heart, grabbed it directly. Zhang! Then Ji, I know you don't like my sister. Marry me. I'll do well on my college entrance exams and give you a good life. I immediately pulled my hand back, raising my voice in shock. Su Yuan-ru, are you crazy? Su Yuan-ru looked at me with seriousness and persistence. I'm not crazy. Zhang Shen, you've taken care of me for so many years. I've long since placed you in my heart. My sister doesn't cherish you, so let me love you well. Hearing these words, my scalp tingled and my stomach churned. Su Yuan-ru, I advise you to drop this idea. Don't cause me trouble. If you continue to act recklessly, I don't mind letting your sister teach you a lesson herself. After speaking, I stood up directly and hurried outside. Su Yuan-ru quickly chased after me and hugged me tightly from behind. Zhang Shen, my feelings for you are sincere. I love you. Before I could struggle, hand pulled me directly out of Su Yuan-ru's embrace. Su Yuan-ru, what are you doing? Su Yuan-ru was naturally a little afraid of Su Xidao. Getting caught in the act, her face immediately turned pale. Sister, I didn't do anything. Before she could finish her sentence, she was knocked to the ground by a slap from Su Xidao. Su Xidao's face was ashamed. Did all the etiquette and shame you learned go to the dogs? Zhang Shen is your brother-in-law. Su Yuan-ru is both hurt and angry. She didn't care anymore and retorted loudly in front of the crowd, you're not even registered. Besides, Zhang Shen doesn't like you. Why can't I pursue him? Su Xidao was struck to the core. The raging anger in her heart threatened to burn her up. Say that again. Su Yuan-ru looked at her clenched fists, her own face full of unwillingness. You can't just because you can't catch up to Zhang Shen. Prevent me from finding love? Su Xidao raised her hand to slap again, about to strike, but I couldn't stand it. I yelled, stop. Su Xidao trembled all over, looking at me with eyes that had become sad and aggrieved. Su Yuan-ru, however, had a face full of excitement. Zhang Shen, I knew you cared about me the most. I watched the drama before me. I only find it annoying, a disgusting nuisance. Su Yuan-ru, do you too think you're some kind of prize? My tone was sarcastic. If it weren't for repaying a debt of gratitude, I would never have anything to do with you in this lifetime. You've already ruined 5 years of my life. Why should I waste the rest of my life at the Su family home? You keep saying you love me, but is it really love or just unwillingness to accept the difference between us? You two know the truth in your own hearts. The two sisters stood frozen on the spot. The corners of their eyes were red. Their eyes were filled with regret and pain. You're right. Zhang Shen, we're truly sorry for what we did to you. We want to treat you well. Since the agreement ended, I was no longer the same with these two. Just hearing them talk annoyed me. I cut them off coldly. I don't need it. I don't want either of you. Besides, I have a girlfriend. I hope you won't show up again in the future. Don't disturb my life. Su Xidao couldn't believe it. How could it be so fast? Is it Gu King Han? I nodded. Kung Han and I have known each other since we were children. Our families arranged for our marriage long ago. If it weren't for that accident, she and I would have been married with children by now. After saying that, I didn't spare them another glance. I walked away. But the three of us did notice that in a dark corner not far away, Song Jingnian had seen everything. In just half a year, our positions had completely reversed. Who once only knew how to bow my head and do chores, had suddenly become a handsome young forensic scientist. With an enviable future and love, he was wallowing in hatred. His fingernails dug into his palms, leaving 5 bloody imprints. His gaze shifted restlessly between the three of us, finally settling on my departing figure. With the help of teacher Truong and me, the murderer was quickly apprehended. Su expressed his gratitude. The chief specially booked a private room and insisted we must attend. That evening, I was held up by a last-minute document. After finally finishing, I rushed to the restaurant. In the cheerful celebratory atmosphere. I couldn't avoid having a few glasses of wine. I went to the restaurant entrance for some fresh air. Unexpectedly, I ran into Suxidao and Suyunru. I no longer had the good temper I used to. If you two keep following me, I'll report you. I'm a public servant now, I'm protected by the organization. If I speak up, you two won't escape punishment. Jiang Shen, we don't mean to bother you. We just want to watch you from a distance. To protect your safety. Suxidao's voice was softer, afraid of displeasing me. I sneered. Your very existence is the greatest danger to me. All the wounds I've suffered in my life were caused by you. The two of them simultaneously recalled when they wrongly accused me of bullying Song Jingnian. The slaps, the kneeling on porcelain shards, and the kicks from both of them that made me spit blood. They even forced me to jump from a building to escape. They had deliberately forgotten, but now I had mercilessly ripped away the shameful veil of their memories. I looked coldly at the two weakened figures before me. I was about to turn back when I heard a series of frantic footsteps running towards me. I turned my head sharply and saw Song Jingnian, gritting his teeth like a madman, rushing towards me with a bottle of something. Jiang Shen, be careful. Suxidao and Suyunru rushed towards me at the same time. Before my horrified eyes, a bottle of unknown liquid was about to be splashed on me. The next moment, a loud gunshot echoed through the air. Song Jingnian's elbow had a bleeding hole in it. He screamed. Some of the liquid from the bottle spilled onto him. The immediate pain made him convulse on the ground, letting out desperate and painful cries. It hurts. Xidao! Save me. Teacher Truong and colleagues from the police station ran out of the room. Seeing his condition, they immediately shouted, it's acid. Quick! Get him to the hospital. Any later and he'll be a goner. I was so scared my whole body went cold, not until Gu Qinghan quickly walked over and hugged me. Did I come to my senses? Qinghan, he wanted to kill me. Gu Qinghan was also shaken with fear. If she had arrived in time, the consequences would have been unimaginable. She suppressed her agitated mood and comforted me in a gentle voice. Jiang Shen, I'm here. No one can hurt you. I held her tightly, seeking a sense of security. I'm so glad you came. Suxidao and Suyunru looked at each other. In each other's eyes, they saw fear and the bitter sorrow of loss. Song Jingnian had targeted me because of them. And they, who claimed they would protect me, were less useful than Gu Qinghan who came from afar. Suxidao understood in her heart. In their state, they no longer had the right to stand by my side. She took one last look at the two of us hugging, pulled Suyunru's hand, and said, let's go. But Suyunru kept staring at Gu Qinghan. A trace of unwillingness remained in her heart. She lost to Gu Qinghan simply because she didn't have a weapon in her hand. If she had a gun too, she would be the one hugging me now. Song Jingnian's life was saved by emergency treatment, but his face was disfigured by the acid. He couldn't accept his appearance and screamed like a madman in his hospital room every day. It's not my fault. Why is the world so unfair to me? My child was so young, and he died at their hands. I want the whole world to be buried with my son. Gu Qinghan and I stood at the door of the hospital room, listening to his chaotic words. We couldn't make heads or tails of it. He has a child. I shook my head. Not as far as I know, but he lived in America for 5 years. Maybe he got married and had a child there. Gu Qinghan turned her head to look at the hospital room, a thoughtful expression on her face. That bastard. Father looked at the telegram Gu Qinghan had sent overnight. It clearly listed the process of how Song Jingnian intentionally harmed me, as well as every detail of his time in America, the year he went to study abroad, and in less than half a year, he fell in love with an American female soldier, and married and had a child with her. But unexpectedly, as tensions between the two countries grew, that American woman began to resent him. Not only did she yell at Song Jingnian, she also beat him. Song Jingnian sought help from the foreign police, but received none. Just when he thought he had no hope of escaping this life, the American intelligence agency approached him, telling him to return to his country and steal military intelligence for America. At first, Song Jingnian didn't want to betray his country, but his wife, for the sake of her own future, threatened Song Jingnian with their son who was still in his cradle. If he didn't agree, she would throw the baby from the balcony and beat him to death, forced by the intelligence agency and his wife. Song Jingnian had no choice but to agree. After returning to the country, he immediately targeted his ex-girlfriend, now Lieutenant Suxidao, and successfully stole some intelligence, submitting it to Jane Keen-kwok. He slammed his hand on the table, making a loud noise, immediately detained those involved for investigation. The training ground of the Southwest Military Region. Suxidao had just finished her morning training, when suddenly, a team of soldiers ran straight towards her and surrounded her. What do you want? Suxidao instinctively felt something was wrong, not until Gu Qinghan approached from a distance and presented an investigation order. Lieutenant Suxidao, you are involved in an espionage case. The National Security Bureau needs to conduct a full investigation on you. Please cooperate. Suxidao's expression changed immediately. Comrade Gu, I have never done anything to betray my country. This is slander. Whether it's slander or not, the National Security Bureau will find out with an investigation. The commander's voice came from behind. Suxidao snapped back to reality and looked at him. She hurriedly said, Commander, you know what kind of person I am. How could I possibly do such a thing? The commander looked at her with disappointment. I told you long ago to handle your personal relationships properly, but you never listened. You brought this upon yourself. If you still have half an ounce of a soldier's self-awareness, then cooperate with the investigation. Cut your losses early. Suksaidao's mind was a mess. She stood stunned, unable to react. Gu Qinghan raised her hand and signaled the soldiers to take her away. 2 soldiers stepped forward, without a word, and put Suksaidao into the National Security Bureau's vehicle. I heard about it later and was silent for a long time. Does Aunt Su know about this? Gu Qinghan shook her head. Director Su is on a mission out of town. She won't be back for another month. After Suksaidao learned that Song Jingnian was a spy, it was as if all the energy was drained from her body. She didn't eat or drink for 2 days. I came to bring her a meal. I saw her looking utterly devastated, sitting sorrowfully on the bed. Jiang Shen, why are you here? When Suksaidao saw me, a glimmer of light appeared in her eyes. I laid out the food. They were all her favorite dishes. Suksaidao smelled the familiar aroma and almost burst into tears. I comforted her. You're not the main culprit. You didn't leak it intentionally. The country will handle it fairly. Suksaidao understood clearly in her heart, but she also knew that once foreign espionage was involved, her life was basically ruined. I looked at her, still unable to bear it. I encouraged her. Suks, even if you can't stay in the army, you still have other paths. Only when you're dead is everything lost. Suksaidao couldn't hold it in anymore. Bitter tears fell into her bowl of rice. But she didn't stop at all, shoveling large mouthfuls into her mouth. Thank you. The espionage case not only affected Suksaidao, but also implicated Su Yuanru. She was originally guaranteed admission to Kim University, but because of this, she failed the political background check. The moment Su Yuanru found out, she almost broke down and wanted to jump into the river. Fortunately, her teacher stopped her in time, preventing a death. She walked home, soaked to the bone, noticed by countless curious and probing eyes. Her steps became faster and faster. She got home and locked the door. Only then did she helplessly squat on the floor and cry her heart out. Yuanru, why are you crying so sadly? In a daze, she seemed to hear a familiar, gentle voice. I walked over with hot food, smiling as I called to her. Don't cry anymore. Didn't your sister say girls should be independent and strong? Hurry up, wipe your face and eat. I held my hand out to her. She foolishly wanted to grab it, but there was nothing there. Waking up, the house was dark and cold. There was no food to eat, and I wasn't there either. Su Yuanru scrambled back to her room and pulled out a photograph. She stared obsessively and infatuatedly at the face in it. As long as I can bring Jiang Shen home, everything will go back to how it was. Our family will surely be together forever. Gu Qinghan got off work and returned to the Jiang family home. As soon as she entered, she smelled a fragrant, hot aroma. In the kitchen, I was busy. She walked over and quietly hugged me from behind. What smells so good? You're back. I tilted my head and pressed my cheek against hers. You and Dad have been too busy lately. I stewed some nourishing chicken soup for you, and also the steamed ribs you wanted to eat yesterday. Kunin felt a warmth spreading from her heart. If I could marry you, how happy I would be. I smiled a little shyly. You're such a smooth talker. Gu Qinghan looked at me with eyes full of love. Jiang Shen, let's get officially married. A week later, everyone at the National Security Bureau knew that there was a big wedding at Director Jiang's house. His biological son and the girl he watched grow up, a pair of lovers, were finally getting married. My usually serious father couldn't help but show his joy at the office. He invited everyone he met to their engagement party. As for the two of us, we were teased even more by our colleagues. One time, Gu Qinghan came to the police department for work. Before she could even step inside, she was surrounded. Yo, isn't this the future bride? Are you here to pick up your groom? Quick, call Jiang Shen out. Tell him his bride is here to take him on a date. When is the wedding? Everyone is waiting to eat your wedding candy. After that, I was also surrounded and pulled out to stand with Gu Qinghan in the middle of the crowd, a talented man and a beautiful woman, a truly perfect match. Kiss! Kiss! Gu Qinghan's face turned beet red. I pulled my colleagues aside and told them not to make a fuss. Then I wrapped my arm around her waist and gave her a kiss on the lips. Everyone, just wait for our wedding invitations. We hope you can all attend then. Gu Qinghan could help but smile, looking at me with eyes full of tenderness. This sweet scene was all witnessed by Su Yuanru, who had rushed to Jingbei. Looking travel-worn, intense jealousy and insecurity flashed in her eyes, causing her to clench her fists tightly. She stared maliciously at Gu Qinghan. She's the one who stole him. If it weren't for Gu Qinghan, how would he and my sister have ended up in this situation? She absolutely cannot let Gu Qinghan marry him. Because of my father's urging, the organization quickly approved our marriage application. When holding the pair of red marriage certificates, Gu Qinghan excitedly flipped them over and over in her hands. Jiang Shen, we're finally married. I hugged her, my heart also filled with excitement and thrill. A year ago, I could never have imagined that in this lifetime, someone would love me so deeply, willing to build a small, happy family with me. But now, not only have I found a loving father, but I also have a considerate and gentle wife. In the future, we might even have an adorable child. Thinking of this, I took out a small, exquisite box from my pocket, got down on one knee, and smiled. Qinghan, the movies say, If you want to marry the girl you love, you have to propose first. I opened the small box. Inside was a ring sparkling with a brilliant light. King Han, I hope to love you for a lifetime. To be with you until the end. Will you marry me? Tears streamed down Gu Qinghan's face. She choked out, I will. I helped her put on the ring. Silly girl. What are you crying for? You should be happy. Gu Qinghan laughed through her tears. Our wedding was set for the beginning of next month. Gu Qinghan took out all her savings, booked the hotel, and bought a wedding dress. Dowry gifts were continuously sent to the Jiang family's door. The day before the wedding, Gu Qinghan drove me to the cemetery. Van Han's parents and my mother had all been moved here for burial. The two of us came specially to share the good news with our elders. It wasn't until evening that we left the cemetery. Gu Qinghan thoughtfully took the wheel, telling me to sleep first. She'd wake me when we got home. I shook my head. I'm not sleepy. Then I leaned in and kissed her cheek. Gu Qinghan's eyes crinkled in a smile, and she was about to speak when a small car suddenly rushed out from a side road. In the fleeting glare of the headlights, I clearly saw the ferocious face of Su Yuanru. Before I could react, Gu Qinghan pulled me tightly in her arms. The car was hit and flipped over several meters. Call the police. Quick! There's so much blood. Help! We have to get the people out of the car. I was dizzily pulled out by a kind person, but Gu Qinghan, who had shielded me from the impact, lay motionless in the car. The wound on her head was bleeding profusely. It was a horrific sight. I struggled to crawl back. Qinghan, wake up! But no matter how I called her name, she didn't respond. Overwhelming despair and grief engulfed me. I strained to reach out and grab Gu Qinghan's hand. Don't leave me. Qinghan. Just those few movements completely exhausted my strength. Passed out beside Gu Qinghan, the perpetrator of the intentional car crash. Su Yongru couldn't hold on and stopped breathing before the doctor arrived. Her body lay in the morgue for 10 days before being claimed by Suk Saidao, who had just been released from prison. That day, a drizzling rain fell over Jingbei. She came to Gu Qinghan's hospital room and looked at my gaunt figure. She asked, Jiang Shen, are you okay? With Gu Qinghan's protection, I only suffered minor injuries, but Gu Qinghan, due to multiple ruptured organs and heavy blood loss, was rushed into emergency surgery 5 times in just 10 days. Critical condition notices were placed in my hands one after another. I looked up. There was no hatred in my eyes, nor was there sadness. It was as if only an empty shell was sitting before Suk Saidao. I don't want to see you. At this point, the person who caused Gu Qinghan's coma was dead, but I couldn't bring myself not to be angry. Suk Saidao struggled to speak. Jiang Shen, I just want to apologize on her behalf. I looked at Gu Qinghan's sleeping face and said, word by word, I will not forgive her for all of eternity. Never. Suk Saidao walked out of the hospital holding the urn. The gloomy rain soaked her hair and clothes. She walked forward as if she couldn't feel anything, as if she wanted to walk to the end of the world. I took a long leave of absence and stayed at the hospital to take care of Gu Qinghan, holding her hand and telling her interesting stories from our childhood. As a child, Gu Qinghan was very mischievous. Because she didn't like tying her hair, she would secretly take scissors and cut it short every time. So, Mother Shen simply shaved her head bald. That winter, everyone in the village saw Gu Qinghan with a head flushed red from the cold. The village children made fun of me for it, saying I was marrying a little nun. I angrily told Gu Qinghan, if you don't grow your hair long, I won't marry you. Gu Qinghan slowly opened her eyes and continued, every time you threatened me with that, I didn't dare to disobey. From that day on, I never cut my hair short again. My tears reacted faster than my brain. They fell drop by drop. I squeezed Gu Qinghan's hand tightly. Crying uncontrollably, Gu Qinghan, if you don't wake up, I won't marry you. She looked at me with pity. It was just a shame she couldn't sit up and hug me. I know. So I woke up to marry you. After waking from the coma, Gu Qinghan's body visibly recovered. Half a month later, she could already sit up and read. I also returned to work at the police department. I only brought her stewed soup at noon and in the evening. Gu Qinghan now had the strength to joke. She said that drinking chicken soup every day felt like postpartum confinement. Just then, a colleague from the department said, you don't know, in the days when you weren't out of danger, Jiang Shen didn't sleep a wink. He was afraid that as soon as he closed his eyes, he'd hear news that your heart had stopped. I recalled that terrifying period and couldn't help but lower my gaze. Gu Qinghan held my hand, her eyes full of pity. She blamed herself endlessly. I made you worry. I shook my head. If, at that moment, you hadn't risked your life to shield me, I would be the one lying in this hospital bed now, and the one who should be thanking you. Gu Qinghan and I intertwined our fingers. Jiang Shen, since we were children, after the flood swept you from my grasp, I swore an oath, if I ever found you, I would never let go of your hand again in this lifetime. So, even if I had to go to the underworld, I will also strive to crawl back to your side. It was summer when Gu Qinghan was discharged from the hospital. Kim University added a forensic science major. They invited me to be a guest lecturer. I had to teach 3 classes a week. She came to the gate of Kim University to pick me up. She stood out among the students coming and going. Finally, I waited until the bell rang to end class. I came out surrounded by students. The warm sunlight fell on me, so dazzling that people couldn't look away. Jiang Shen, I was talking to the students when I heard Gu Qinghan call my name. I smiled unconsciously. King Han, you're here. Our looks are both top-notch. The students were pleased to see us together. Teacher Jiang, when are you and department head Gu getting married? I blinked my eyes. I didn't know how to answer. Our original wedding ceremony had to be cancelled because of the accident. Now, half a year has passed. I didn't know if we would still have it. Du Qinghan smiled lightly. Like magic, she took out several packets of wedding candy and invitations. Look what this is. Everyone, the students rushed to grab them. Teacher Jiang, department head Gu, we will definitely come to give you our blessings. The surprise on my face was no less than the students. What is this about? Du Qinghan raised an eyebrow. Of course, it's for our wedding ceremony. I pinched her cheek, pretending to interrogate her. Confess honestly, resistance will be met with severity. When did you start preparing this secretly? You hid it so well. Gu Qinghan played along and raised her hands. Yes. Teacher Jiang, I surrender. It turned out that before Gu Qinghan was discharged from the hospital, she had already started preparing for the new wedding. She fell for me, running between the hospital and the police bureau, so she didn't tell me on purpose. I wanted to give you a surprise. After a long time, I finally wore that suit. That day, the wedding car drove down the street. The streets were lined with townspeople watching the ceremony. Wedding candy was thrown everywhere. I heard countless congratulations on your marriage, and may you have a son soon. The wedding car stopped at the restaurant entrance. Gu Qinghan, in her beautiful wedding dress, walked towards me, step by step. Father took both of our hands. Xiao Han, you are the junior I am most proud of. You both have suffered a lot. Now, can be considered a blessing in disguise. From now on, you must love each other. Don't make your father worry. I wanted to smile, but tears streamed down my cheeks uncontrollably. Du Qinghan said seriously, Dad, don't worry. Su become Jiang Then's wife. I have been preparing for a very long time. Amidst everyone's blessings, Gu Qinghan and I drank the ceremonial wine, our arms intertwined. Jiang Shen, I love you. I looked back in her eyes. I love you too. Qinghan, 5 years later. Daddy, wake up quickly. Mommy made your favorite pumpkin pie. The bedroom door was pushed open. A small, round figure rushed to my bedside. I couldn't stand the noise she was making. I sat up and hugged her, seeing her eyes, which were almost identical to Gu Qinghan. All my anger vanished. I kissed my daughter's cheek. Good morning, Jiang Tiudin. My daughter laughed and kissed me back. Good morning, Daddy. But Mommy said if you don't get up, you'll be late for your meeting. I tensed up. I immediately put my daughter down and got up to wash my face. I finally made it to the dining room. Gu Qinghan and Jiang Tiudin had already eaten. In my spot was a glass of warm milk. I casually and familiarly walked over and gave Gu Qinghan a good morning kiss. Jiang Tiudin covered her eyes with her chubby hands. Mommy and Daddy are so shameless. I'm going to tell Grandpa. I pinched her cheek. Such a little rascal. Hurry up and eat your breakfast. Good Mommy and Daddy. We'll take you to kindergarten. I don't want to go to school. Since Teacher Truong retired, I became Jingbi's pillar of the Police Bureau's Forensic Science Department. Any mission requiring support, it fell to me first. Now, it was a case in Southwest City. Even though I didn't want to set foot there, I had to prioritize my work, but I didn't think that in this case, the deceased would be an old acquaintance of mine. This is the first time I saw Suxi Dao from this perspective. In just a short 5 years, she had become so unfamiliar. A month ago, the police found a criminal den. In order not to alert them, they prepared to plan an undercover agent. Suxi, using her previous connections, recommended herself to the bureau chief. During this 1-month mission, she upheld the qualities of a soldier and completed it excellently. But at the last moment, she exposed her identity to save a comrade. She was met with frantic revenge from her mortal enemies. Until the very end, she maintained the backbone of a soldier. She never showed any weakness. After hearing this, I was moved. No matter what grievances I had with Suxi Dao in the past, I had to admit that Suxi Dao was a qualified soldier. I took a step back and bowed slightly towards Suxi Dao on the autopsy table. Then I began the autopsy. Through my meticulous and professional work, I successfully found a key clue. For the police pursuing the fugitive criminals, it was of great help. After work, I don't know why, but I wandered to the Su family's house. This house I had lived in for 5 years was now dilapidated beyond recognition. I gently pushed open the door and entered. The inside was full of dust and cobwebs. Everything was still the same as when I left. I walked into the master bedroom. I saw a letter on the table. The envelope was carefully inscribed with Su Jiang Shen. I picked it up in disbelief. Inside, a few short sentences had been revised 3 or 4 times. Finally, the pen had written, Jiang Shen, I wish you eternal happiness. In the envelope, there was also a green jade ring. I knew this was the closest match she could find. Thank you, Suxi, I said. I waited until Suxi Dao was buried before returning to Jingbai. I left that ring in Suxi Dao and I didn't bring it back. The past grievances faded away with their departure. I also completely let go of the past. The moment I stepped out of the train station, a chubby little girl, like a small cannonball, rushed into my arms. Daddy, I missed you so much. I hugged her tightly. Gu Qinghan followed closely behind. She took my hand. Jiang Shen, I heard about Suxi Dao. I looked at her and smiled lightly. Don't worry. I'm fine. Gu Qinghan saw my expression and smiled faintly. She took our hands and walked us home. It was spring again. With one hand, I held Gu Qing's hand. With the other, I held Jiang Tu Dun's. I felt the time passing peacefully. The years were quiet and beautiful. I think tomorrow will be beautiful weather too.